All right, so welcome to another episode of Ghetto Antiques Roadshow. And here's me sniping this item at the last possible second. I was willing to go up to $58.99. The current bid at that time, with a few seconds left in the auction, was $16.49. And as you can see, there was many watchers and bids going on. And here we go, 26 seconds left. Oh boy. And then some other a-hole just placed a bid, brought it up to $19.50. And then some other a-hole just brought it up to $21.50. And I was like really nervous until I beat everybody and won this for, and what did I win it for? I don't even remember. We'll find out in a second. And it was 26 doll hairs. So the funny part is, I told you in the video of my sniping of this item, and a snipe is, if you want to know, a last-second snipe. I placed the 6-second snipe and beat out the other a-holes. Basically, I had asked the seller if they would add a buy it now for $35.99 when this was listed, and they never answered me. They could have said no, and be polite. And I ended up actually getting it for 26 bucks. So I was afraid other people would see this and bid this up. Apparently, not many dealers and collectors actually saw this, although there were 12 watchers and several bidders on it. I guess they didn't know that these are valuable. And oh boy. All right, let's hope that this is okay, because if it's not okay, I can't afford to pay retail, if you know what I mean. And nobody wants to pay retail for anything. So if this is broken, I will not be able to replace this, because I'll have to pay a lot of money to replace this item. And let's try to get it out. And I film these as documentation in case the item arrives broken. At least the seller, can see how badly packed something was and whatnot. And, oh boy, I hate this. When it's so close to the item and you have to cut into it. I'll be back. So I almost just cut the glove of my, actually the thumb of my hooker glove off, trying to get this open. We don't want that to happen. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, my God. This is actually much bigger than I ever expected it to be. This is a piston pump perfume atomizer. And let's actually find out more about this, and I'll be with you in a moment. This is absolutely stunning. And I was showing you in my other video when I sniped this, I was showing you other comparables. And one was being sold for $120, but it was only 3 inches tall and half of the width of this. So this is a nice big chunk of glass. And let's look close. And what do we see? We see a hobnail pattern with amethyst purple colored cutouts. So this is like, they call it like purple clear to cut glass, something like that. But this was made by a French maker by the name of Baccarat. Baccarat was well known for their glass, and they made a multitude of different things besides perfume bottles. Now, Baccarat was the glass maker of the kings and queens going back to the 1700s. Now, this bottle was not made in the 1700s. This bottle was actually made probably circa 1900 to about 1925. And how do I know that? Well, I've been collecting quite a bit of these. And this is actually in beautiful condition. I mean, absolutely pristine. And we had this little chain here dangling. Now you would take this cap off, unscrew it. You would unscrew this piece, pour your perfume in. And back then, they didn't have commercially made perfumes as readily available that would come in a fancy bottle. So somebody would go to a department store or an apothecary and ask for a certain perfume, and they would actually bring a funnel with them. They would pour the perfume in here and take this bottle home with them. Now I wanted to take this outside to show you how optically beautiful this glass is in the sunlight. So you can really see how beautiful this pattern is. We have this beautiful star pattern on the bottom. These gorgeous, it almost looks like rubies or emeralds or sapphires. Well, no, amethysts sticking out. You see that, how they're raised up? That is just really quite beautiful. And I'm trying to get a focus on this. My camera completely and utterly sucks. Let's try it now. Okay, there we go. And we're going to go over what these perfume bottles were, when they were made, when they were the most popular, and about the price ranges they sell for. Now, I did really, really, really damn good at $26. Now, even though my high bid that I was willing to go was $58.99, that doesn't even cover a small percentage of the value of a perfume bottle such as this one. And here we go. Look at this. Look at this optical glass. Look how it shimmers in the light. Wow. Oh my God, I am thrilled with this. Now here's a picture of some of the perfume bottles in my collection. As you can see, I have a bunch of these piston pump perfume atomizer bottles over here. I have them all over in my collection. I really, really, really love them. Here's another such one that I have in my collection that is a French piston pump atomizer bottle. As we see here, I have photos showing you guys. Here's some other beautiful perfume bottles in my collection. Really quite beautiful. And again, I have a lot of Art Deco era ones and Victorian laydown perfume bottles and all sorts of different kinds of English silver top perfume bottles in my collection. Here's another piston pump atomizer that I was showing everybody on a forum, actually. And here we go. Here's some more in my collection. And here's another really neat French piston pump perfume atomizer bottle. You can see with the button. Really quite lovely. And these are quite collectible. Here's another one. Wow, look at this bohemian glass. And I was sort of bragging. I was showing my collection. There's my Victorian hair jewelry on top of my display case. And I need more display cases, as you can tell by all these perfume bottles. Here's my uranium pieces and some other pieces in my collection. And yet, here's more. And here's more. I have a perfume Tantalus box with many perfume bottles in there. Here we go. Here's an example. And these are Baccarat perfume bottles from the 1850s. Really quite lovely. And I was showing the label that was in there from the 1850s. Really quite lovely. So as you can see here, I have quite a bunch of these piston pump perfume. Actually, let me open up the glass case. Let's try to do that without making anything break. Okay, so I have quite a bit of these in my collection. And you see one back there. And one right here. Look at this. Really beautiful French. And here's another French piece. And another one back here with the piston pump button. And yet another one. And here's a look at this, a 4-chamber piston pump atomizer bottle right here. And then yet I have a green and clear cut Baccarat bottle, just like the purple one. Really cool. Okay, so basically these bottles, these piston pump perfume bottles, actually the glass for the atomizer bottles were usually French, Bohemian, American, or English. Baccarat was responsible for many of the heavy cut glass bottles you may find in your travels. Other companies such as Lalique, don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, or Lalique, Gala, don't know if I'm, or Gala, St. Louis, Nancy, or, Down Nancy, also made the bottles for these atomizers. The glass is rarely marked, but sometimes you might find acid etchings with markings on them. With this one, you don't see that. So I'm really, really thrilled with this perfume bottle. What do they sell for? All right, let's find out. Here's such an example on eBay selling for $249.99. Will they get the price for that? Yes, they do sell for these prices. This is French, and it may be Baccarat. Now, most of these were made from circa 1900 all the way through the 1920s, the late 1920s, that is. And here's original ads for some of them. And here we go, St. Louis glass. And again, I'm going to pronounce that wrong, Lalique or Lalique. Originally, they were priced from between $4.95 to $7.45. On sale, $4.45. Back in 1928, by the way. And from $7.95 to $10.95. On sale for $6.95. That was quite a bit of money in 1928. And then here we go, a 1932 ad for $1, which is pretty cool. If you hear banging in the background, it's Other people live here at the Ghetto Antiques Roadshow, so you might hear the noise. Here's another one, and that one, $6.50. Really quite outrageous for that time frame. Now here's a 1904 ad for such a pump, and as you can see, these actually sold for a couple of decades. 1904 new Parisian perfume spray, and they came in different sizes and different colored metal. And there we go. And now we have a 1906 actual patent for the design of these type of perfume bottles. I don't know if you can see that. My computer sort of sucks. But there you go. So you know that these actually started from the early 1900s all the way through about 1928 to about 1930. Again, here is a 1906 patent design of how the inner mechanisms work on these bottles, which is really quite cool. And more. And so that is actually pretty cool. Here's one such company actually called Kitzinger. Ferrez means Kitzinger Brothers, and this was a perfume maker. He made different kinds of perfume bottles, not only the piston pumps, but the ones with the atomizers. And I can only imagine window shopping. Look at all the perfume bottles in his window. Oh my goodness, that is like outrageous. Now, Kitzinger made many different kinds of like vaporizers, vaporist. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but you can see some here, and they had these little bulbs on one end, and similar to mine with the chain and the cap on the end. And this one is very old. I think it's dated. Does it even have the date? I think it was like 1906. And aha, here we go. Here are pictures of my type of bottles. And sorry for all that racket. It's again, Grand Central Station here at the Ghetto Antiques Roadshow. Okay, so here's some, why is my camera shit? Why is my camera absolute shit? So here we go with different designs, and aha, here's our Baccarat one. And they sold, the highest amount they sold for it was $21. Really quite high. The ones that were smaller and had different types of metal tops sold for $14. And you can see the many different designs that you may be able to find. Actually, I have this bottle. I actually have this bottle. Now I know who made it. It's in my china cabinet. We were just looking at it. Very interesting. Here's a Harrods perfume atomizer ad dated 1913. And let's see if we can find our piston pump perfume bottles. Aha, here we go. And again, here is that, you can see that hobnail pattern actually was made for quite a few years. This one being sold in nickel plated or actual gold, like, well, not real gold, but like brass. And it is being sold for how much? I can't even see. I am blind. Does it have a price? I do not even think I see a price, but wow. Really wow. You can see Baccarat made many different hobnail pattern type of perfume bottles. Let's try to focus that. There we go. They made them, and they would have actually, this is another kind of piston pump where you would pump this piece up and down and the perfume would squirt out. That's always interesting to look at. And let's scroll down. Now they made a different type of piston pump perfume atomizer bottle like mine, but in a round shape. And there you go. Really quite cool. Here's another piston pump atomizer bottle similar to mine. They came in small and large and nickel plated, some of them, and some of them brass plated. And let's continue to go. Here's another piston pump atomizer bottle. This one is really fancy. As a matter of fact, I'll show you, I have a similar one in my collection. And if you hear music in the background, my daughter's singing in the shower. Okay, so there we go. There's our fancy style one that we see in that. Oh my God, will you shut up in there? And the one that we saw in Harrods, very similar with that really cool gold ormolu. And here we go with my hobnail pattern one on the right. And it's saying that, so they came in different sizes. Aha, very interesting. 1913. So they started from the early 1900 time frame all the way up into 1913. All the way into the late 20s and possibly just about 1930. And again, price is subjective. I've seen these actually sell for as low as $100 all the way into the $600 to $800 price range. Here's a clear version of the Baccarat with a more fancier top than mine, $295. And yet, here's another one for $360. It's a French opaline bottle. So that's opaline glass in blue. Really quite cool. 360 bones. And yet, here's another one, 450 doll hairs. And wow, look at that. That is really cool. So as you can see, I had a field day winning this for only 26 doll hairs because I can't afford retail, and there's no way in hell that I would have been able to afford this glass bottle if it was at the retail prices being sold at high-end antique shops, Etsy, and other kind of retail antique dealers that know what these things are and know what the value of them are. So once again, thank you for watching another one of my long, boring ass, you rather watch paint peel video. And I'll see you guys all soon with the next episode of Ghetto Antiques Road Show.